I really don't even know what to say anymore. And I'm angry that I don't have a brown paper bag and I had to use an Amazon box. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Full Command Show. My name is Grant Mitchell, and we're here to discuss the Commanders losing to the Detroit Lions 22-44. Now, I know you're probably asking yourselves, hey, Grant, how can you smile in a time of crisis like this? It's because I'm actually ahead of all of you. I've reframed my thinking. So when we were winning games and stuff, yeah, it was fun, but those days are overrated. Now, every time we lose, we get a better draft pick. So I've reframed my thinking, and these losses can be a good thing for us as long as we avoid that dreaded 8-9 range. No, we got money in the bag here. We got ourselves an offensive captain in JD5. Let's go get us a defensive captain. Let's get Arvell Reese. Let's get Caleb Downs. Ruben Bain, come on down. Now, guys, I'm joking around. I'm gonna be serious. I promise. I don't even know how I'm supposed to record a video right now because I feel like I have no words. It's about 20 minutes after the final snap of the Commanders' loss in Week 10, dropping us to 3-7 on the year, I believe. Is that right? Yep, 3-7. We're also, by the way, this is a fun change. We're 2-point underdogs to the Dolphins next week in Spain. How the mighty have fallen. Yeah. So I really, honestly, I am just trying to gather my thoughts here because I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to say right now. Everything has gone wrong this season. There's not one single thing that has gone the way it was supposed to. We have made history. With that loss against the Lions, that is our fourth straight loss of at least 21 points. That had only happened to one other team, one other time in NFL history. The 2002 Arizona Cardinals, from weeks 10 to weeks 13, lost 4 straight games by at least 21 points. We are the only other team to have done that. If we keep this up in Madrid, if the boys get a little too hungover at the beach and then they got to go play a game and they don't show up ready, we might make history as the only team in NFL history to lose 5 straight games by at least 3 touchdowns. I'm going to keep repeating those numbers because we should not fail to contextualize the total capitulation that has been this season, specifically the last month of play. So, guys, this is the official 5 Names to Remember series. In case you're new around here or in case you forgot, this is the series where I recap what happened out there on the field, and then we get to 5 players, coaches, executives, anybody involved in the game, referees that stood out, and we assign them different colors, squares, to grade them for their performances in this game. And we have got so much to talk about. My reaction to last week's game ended up being 45 minutes long. I have no clue how long this is going to be. This might take 10 minutes because, again, I've barely got anything written down in my notes. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. This might be an hour because I could rant forever and ever, and I would only be scratching the surface of this team. But before we get to it, guys, do me a favor. If you're joining me here, I've said this several times before, making videos after losses is not always the most fun task in the world. But leaving a like button takes 2 seconds out of your day. It really does help out my channel, helps out this video, helps get it out into the algorithms, and you help me grow, and you help us grow. Because one thing that my Discord, which I'm also going to plug here, link to join the Full Command Discord is at the top of the description of this video. One thing we walk away saying after every game is, man, getting to talk it out with some other people who understand, who feel these same pains that we do, go through the same struggles we do. It makes it a lot better. You know, I send clips of what's going on in the game. We talk about our feelings. It's the place to be, man. It's part of the community. So liking this video helps not only me grow, but it helps the community grow. And I really appreciate that you guys are a part of it. New viewers, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not already. So, like I said, we're literally in the worst run in the history of professional sports. We're tied right there with the 2002 Arizona Cardinals. Again, I don't have notes written down, so I'm trying to figure out where I want to start this. As if the franchise wasn't a stain on the NFL for long enough. As if Dan Snyder didn't disgrace us. As if all those painful losses didn't happen. As if as if the Sean Taylor statue didn't happen, as if the Albert Hainsworth contract didn't happen. Pick anything you want. As if we haven't endured enough pain. You know, they say it's the hope that kills you. And last year was never supposed to happen. We were never supposed to get as far as we did. But we did get that far. And man, I wouldn't trade those memories for the world. And I am grateful to DQ. I am grateful to AP. I am grateful to Bobby Wagner. I'm grateful to everyone. I'm grateful to Terry McLaurin. But I would be lying to you if I said that while the intellectual part of my brain says that's an outlier and you don't normalize outliers, the emotional chords in my heart, I wouldn't be lying. I would be lying to you if I said I'm not more upset about the way this season has gone, considering where we were just 9 months ago. 9 months ago, we were beating these guys. We scored 45 points on them on the road. We one up them. They scored 44 on us today. We scored 45 on them as 9.5-point underdogs to advance to the conference championship game. Now today, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, would admit the most entertaining part of watching today's game was seeing Donald Trump in the booth because we didn't have to see the Commanders play football. Those were the best parts of the game when they weren't actually playing, when they weren't on the screen. I'll start by talking about culture here. If Dan Quinn doesn't have culture, if the Commanders don't have a culture, then what does Dan Quinn have? Marcus Mariota, who I respect the hell out of, but Marcus Mariota goes to the podium after the game. Keep in mind, Commanders post-game show isn't live. DQ hasn't given his press conference. Heck, if they fired him, and no, I'm not expecting them to do that the day of the game, but if they fired him, we didn't get news of that. The only thing we got related to the Commanders by the time that I've pressed record on this video, which is about 20 minutes after the game has ended, is Mariota going to the press conference, going to the podium, and he said that we have to be honest with ourselves, that we don't know who we are, and that we're not close to being to what we want to be. Again, I respect the crap out of Marcus Mariota. It is not up to him to say these things. And I don't say that to tell him that he's wrong. It's actually much, much worse. It's that he hit the nail on the head. He is spot on correct. And let me start by saying this. The offense was not bad today. Offense was not bad. Mariota, with his position as a backup, should not be the one to say this. With his play, not that Mariota's been a Pro Bowler, but he has not been terrible. He's been all right. Heck, he's even looked really good in some moments. So Mariota, with his position on the team, with his play, he should not be the one to say it, yet he is. If DQ doesn't have a culture, what does he have? Punting at the end of the third quarter down 19, given everything that's going on, given that the Lions had scored on every single possession they had the football at that point in the game. Punting down 3 scores is the right thing to do. And by the way, I can see in my camera I'm lagging right now. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's doing that. Give it about 5-10 seconds. It should go away. My apologies if that happens again. I think I've got to clear up some space on my computer or anything. But back to the video. Back to the video. Did I say or anything or something? Back to the video. Forget the logistics of trying to win a football game and how impossible it is when you can't get a stop, you're down 19 and you're punting the ball away. Let's try to get anything going. Anything at all. The people who were in the crowd of leaving Jaden at the end of the game last week was a good thing. We're saying that because one of the reasons was it's good for Jaden's development, but then also, oh, what if Jaden and the offense got in a rhythm? What if it carried over to next week? And that's their opinion. I have my opinion. Those people have their opinions. Neither one of us are not me in that crowd or not the other crowd. We're not right. We're not wrong. We just have our opinions, right? But that's the thought behind it. What if we get some momentum rolling? Well, we're not winning a game when we're down 19 at the end of the third quarter. But what if we get momentum going? What if we go for it on fourth down? Novel concept there. And what if we score in that drive? What if we get anything going? On that note, by the way, was it not ironic to anyone that DQ opted to pull Mariota out of the game in the fourth quarter? Made me chuckle a little bit. If DQ doesn't have culture, what does he have? What kind of culture is it when Daron Payne, amid us becoming just the second team in NFL history to go a month consecutively losing by 3+ touchdowns, what kind of culture is it when Daron Payne is punching someone in the face? Just a question that now I'm sure Amon-Ra was talking smack to him. Amon-Ra might have been talking crazy. Heck, he might have deserved it. I don't know. Doesn't mean you do it. And why Amon-Ra? Again, maybe he said something, but like if that was Penei Sewell, if that was Decker or Ratledge, or take your pick, would Payne have punched them? Or is the 6'3", 330-pound guy, is he punching the 5'9", 210-pound guy because he's not worried about the consequences? Something to think about. Speaking of culture, how about on the next play? 2-point conversion. Javon Kinlaw swats at a ref, pushes his arm out of the way. Can't do that. That's how you get ejected. He should be thanking his lucky stars that he wasn't ejected from the game, even though that probably would have been easier to not be on the field and to be a part of what happened there, of becoming history in the worst way possible in the NFL. Joining the Cardinals in that club of disgrace. What kind of culture is it when Quan Martin's getting a personal foul a couple of minutes later? Just my questions. One of the first things DQ ever said about his culture, the run and hit style. Run and hit. When we drafted Jordan McGee from Temple, we love the way you run and hit. What do I love about him? He runs and hits, runs and hit, run and hit. What did I miss the memo? Did run and hit get swapped out for sit and wait? Because I'm looking at this play here and I see Bobby Wagner and company sitting and waiting. It doesn't really look like running and hitting to me. Am I being too critical? Let me know. How about this one where we get a nice little pass to Gibbs in the flat and Wagner's in position to make the tackle and he backs up behind the first down marker to then engage for the tackle. Now, I understand trying to get square, hips, shoulders, all that great stuff. Bobby Wagner's a master tackler, but could we get square in front of the line to gain? Just a question. I'm not a Hall of Famer. I respect Bobby. Nobody cannot respect what he's done in the NFL, but what's the rationale there? Where's the thinking and where's the run and hit style? Here's another one. The way we get down's not for everybody, right? Band of Rough Riders. What do we call Johnny Newton here getting kicked out of the club? What do we call Johnny Newton getting picked up and tossed around like your little brother after he ate the last brownie in the tray that mom made? What do we call that? I'm not upset we're losing these games. Let me make myself very clear. And no, I'm not being a sarcastic asshole like I was when I said I was excited. I'm a more advanced than you guys because I've learned to appreciate losses because we get a better draft pick. I was totally joking, by the way. I don't think I'm smarter than anybody. Maybe some of you. But general statement, no, that's not true. I'm not upset we're losing games. I'm not upset that we're giving up a lot of points. I recognize the reality of the situation. We've got, everyone is injured. We've got fewer starters not injured than we do that are injured. I'm upset that everyone is running scot-free, open, wide open, or if it's a merciful running play where the opportunity for a 60-yard passing game doesn't exist, I'm mad that Jahmyr Gibbs is taking it 50 yards to the house. Have you guys ever seen an episode of Mythbusters? God, what a great show that was. Mythbusters was awesome. You ever seen an episode of Mythbusters where they take like these high-powered rifles and they shoot them into blocks of gelatin or molasses or whatever it is, and you see it stretch back and you can see the impact? That's what it's like watching our defense trying to stop the run today. The center would penetrate through, and there was a ripple effect all the way around them. It looked like a mushroom cloud, like a bomb had gone off. I'm tired. I'm tired of that. Let's move on to coaching decisions here, because this goes hand in hand. What was Joe Whitt Jr.'s move to the sideline supposed to accomplish? Was that just the final throw of the dice? Now, Joe Whitt said that he was the one who asked Dan Quinn to make that move, and that players had come to him and asked him. And you know what? I believe it, because Joe Whitt Jr. doesn't lie. He actually overshares at the podium, so I do believe that. But my question would be to Whitt, to the players, to DQ, and to fans of Commanders Nation. I've asked for a million different changes. I've never asked for Whitt to come down to the sidelines because I never thought it was going to do anything. Now, some people have, and people have called for that. And if you're one of those people in my comment section, they tried. I'm not saying that you had a bad idea. I'm just saying that I didn't know what it was going to accomplish, because nothing this season had given me any confidence that it would make a change. Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense Hegseth, was at this game. Could we give him the play sheet? He's the Secretary of Defense. Could he call plays better? Anyone down with that? On Jameson Williams' touchdown, they basically ran the same play two times in a row. It wasn't the exact same, but it was J-Mo lined up on the right side as the outside receiver with a 15-ish yard dig route coming across. On the touchdown, he burned Sainristil with it. 2 plays in a row. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. It's just these guys, man. Early in the game, we tried a tight end screen to John Bates. That, number one, that's a condemnation of Zach Ertz. And we know Zach Ertz actually played a solid game today as far as catching the ball goes, had some nice catches, but we know he can't run after the catch. So we're doing tight end screens to John Bates, which is a condemnation of that in and of itself. But why is Ben Sinnott not in that position? Why are we not putting the 23, 24-year-old second round pick, the guy that when Adam Peters called and said, hey, you remind me of George Kittle and Kyle Juszczyk? Why is he not the one getting the opportunities to prove he can run after the catch? No, we're going to go with the career blocking tight end, John Bates. Okay, got it. You know, Sinnott made a couple of nice blocks today. There was one really nice run block where he got up to the second level in a flash, and he knocked the defender way off the spot. He caught a touchdown later in the game. It was garbage time, I get it. But you see those plays, you see, okay, if this is Ben Sinnott who he is, and we can keep those moments, but up the production, up the volume, that's when he actually becomes a very, very good player. Well, why are we not giving him the opportunity on the tight end screen? We weren't going to win this game. That wasn't going to happen. I think the coaches prepared as best they could to win it, because it is their job. Do I think in their heart of hearts, if you hook them up to a polygraph and you ask them if they were likely to win it, do I think it would have come back they 100% believe they would have? No, of course not. So in those moments, why are we not trying to get the young guys on the field? Why was Kane Medrano inactive today? Jalen Holmes has been awful. I get it. They made him inactive. I don't really have beef with that necessarily. Sheldon Day is better than Jalen Holmes. He deserved the call up, but if we are going to make those changes where we're going to make inactive players that have been active, why not give the young guys a try? This season is a wash. It is. That's an opportunity to get them snaps, and they blew it. I mean, we saw Treylon Burks get on the field. We got C-Rod as the starter. We got Jordan McGee playing heavy snaps. We got Tyler Owens playing snaps. We got it. Became Medrano, no love for him. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be talking about the Lions' first touchdown of the game, the Jahmyr Gibbs receiving touchdown where he caught it on Jordan McGee. Look, this is what I'll say about that. It's a very hard play for a linebacker to make. I thought it was telling that McGee looked at Bobby pre-snap and said, communicate, hey, we got to flip here, because McGee was on the right side, Gibbs was on the left side of Goff and shotgun, and McGee wanted to be lined up in front of him. That was telling to me. They're clearly game plan like, hey, look, Bobby, we're trying to ease some coverage responsibilities off of you. So McGee did call for the flip. It was the right thing to do. It didn't work out. It's a very tough play for a linebacker to make with a running back coming at you full speed like that, much less Gibbs, who's one of the fastest, most elusive backs in the NFL. Now, McGee gave up his inside leverage, but it was also just good play design by the Lions. They ran some clear out routes in front of it. McGee had to negotiate the traffic, and the result is what it was. I'm not even mad about things like that. And like we saw Jonathan Jones have a nice PBU here and there. But the zone coverage is just so soft. It's like Charmin for babies. I don't know. I can't. This is why I get so mad. This is why I get so mad trying to evaluate my own personal stance on the coaching staff. Because I can't tell what's coaching, and I can't tell what's the players just being awful. I can't tell what's injuries. I can't tell what's confidence and desire. I can't tell what's communication. I can't tell what's coaches. I can't tell any of it because I watched them play zone coverage. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, it's 4th and 1. We're doing a spot drop cover 2. We're dropping to normal depth 10 yards off the ball. We've got 2 players in position to cover 3 receivers and bunch on 4th and 1. What is that? We are spoon-feeding opponents 3rd down conversions, 4th down conversions, explosive plays, scoring plays. We can't make it any easier. You have more miscommunications, which lead to screenshots like this, where there's hardly a defender in the image. What is that? Mark this down on your bingo card again and stop me if you've heard this before. 2 Commanders players ran into each other again on the Jamison-Williams crossing route where they were playing man coverage. It was Reeves and I think Noah I. Bang. Wide open. Explosive play for J-Mo. 40-something yards. We hadn't had a good players running into each other in a couple of weeks. You know, I miss those. Now, when that stopped happening, we actually had to try to use our brains and figure out, okay, what was the play call and whose zone responsibility was this? No, now we just went back to the old-fashioned guys running into each other. The simple things. Frankie Louvu gets into the backfield. He's finally going to make an explosive play for the defense. Oh, he misses the tackle. The guy with the career-high missed tackle rate this year misses another tackle. The Commanders in this game did not have a single sack, did not have a single tackle for loss. Chris Rodriguez Jr., Trey Amos, Ali Cajo, Jonathan Jones, all got injured today. The list, and I'm going to try to do this off the top of my head, so bear with me here. The list of injuries, and I don't know if any of these are long-term or not, so let me just put that out there. But we had Jaden Daniels with an elbow. We've got Noah Brown with a groin, I believe it is. It's been so long, I forgot. We've got Terry McLaurin with a quad or a hip or whatever they want to call it. We have got Colson Yankoff, I think, came back in this game. I think I saw him in garbage time. We've got Dorrance Armstrong, Javonte Jean-Baptiste, Dietrich Wise. Again, the 4 players I just mentioned, C-Rod, Amos, Cajo, and Jones. We've got Marshawn Lattimore. We've got Will Harris. I think Goldman played this game, so he's back from the concussion. It's just demoralizing. And right here on this note is where I'm going to switch it over, and we're going to go to the 5 names to remember. All right, here we are on the new screen. We're going to get to the 5 names to remember. For those of you who are new or don't remember, 5 names to remember, like I said, I'm going to give you the 5 people that stuck out for various reasons. We judge these people based on the squares that they are put in. We have green for you did a good job today, yellow for I'm iffy, that was worrying, red for you lost us the game, and a dark green for a game ball, which I said at the start of the year, we're very rarely going to give out game balls. I've given out 1 all year. And I believe it was Josh Connerly Jr. in a preseason loss. I believe that's the only dark green game ball we have. Spoiler alert here, we do not have a game ball this week. Now, I did something new, and I gave a black square to Jaden Daniels last week because I felt as if the team left him to die. a little bit. I had a lot of suggestions for going with a new color this week, and maybe I should have in some ways, but I don't want to completely go away from the format. I still want to stick to what we have until we prove that it doesn't work. But hey, I guess that's the same issue that the coaching staff might have. I'm going to start this video off and say that this was very convenient because I typed up this person's name into Google and I saved their image and all that, saved it to my files so that I could go edit it onto my template. And I loaded it up and I realized I already had a red for Dan Quinn from last week. So we're starting it off with a red for Dan Quinn. I genuinely don't even know what to say right now. Dan Quinn, in my mind, feel free to let me know in the comment section otherwise. Now, DQ's defenses with Dallas were phenomenal. They were number one in the NFL in the EPA per play allowed when he was in Dallas. He's Super Bowl champion with the Seahawks. So I really don't want to disrespect his acumen. And heck, maybe it's something that gets lost when he moves from defensive coordinator to head coach. I've never viewed Dan Quinn as a true schematic guy. I've never viewed Dan Quinn as a true, I will put you in positions to make you better than you are and make us better than the sum of our parts guy. I said this many times during the offseason, during the regular season. I've said my fear with Dan Quinn, and I've always said it that way. My fear with Dan Quinn is he's a 1 to 2 year guy. He will take over a sinking ship, patch it up, make everybody feel like they're a part of it. Everybody buys in and steal some good feelings, teach guys leadership, accountability, things like that. And then it's time to pass it on to the next guy. I have hit the point where I'm ready to say that is no longer a fear of mine that is being actualized. Now, again, I've said so many times, and I feel like I say this multiple times a week now, I promised I was never going to come on this channel and call for someone to be fired. I don't know what I'm supposed to say when you lose 4 straight games by 21 plus points, and you're only the second team in the history of the NFL to do that. For a guy who's all about culture, because Lord knows when he goes to the podium and someone asks him a question, he doesn't say, well, you know, when we're in cover 3 on 3rd and 3, we have to get our flat defenders to sink down lower, and we've got to, when we play match coverage, you got to be able to latch on harder and do this. He doesn't get into X's and O's and any of that. He doesn't do that. It's all culture. It's all talking points. I love the competitiveness, run and hit, produce the football, ball is life. It's all that sort of stuff. It's all culture with Dan Quinn, right? So losing 4 straight games, essentially setting or tying an NFL record for worst streak of losses is not culture. Having your players ejected for punching someone in the face is not culture. Shoving a referee is not a culture. Personal fouls is not a culture. Mistakes everywhere, miscommunications everywhere is not a culture. I'm having such a hard time, and I want to drive this point home. I am not mad we're losing games. We are supposed to lose these games because of all of the injuries we have. We should not be winning right now. But there have been teams worse than us. Heck, that's not even true. We are one of the worst teams in NFL history. Based on the last 4 games, nobody can argue that. We should not be losing that badly. I'm going to steal this from someone in my Discord. My apologies that I didn't write your name down. It just popped in my head. I didn't even really plan on saying it, but injuries, the players, that's the reason we can't be great right now. The coaches are the reason we're not good right now. Yeah. We're seeing the identity collapse. We're seeing the culture collapse. It's like a house that's caving in on itself. We're seeing players regressing. Now we've got Mariota going to the press conference and rightfully, whatever, saying we don't know who we are and we're not close to what we think we are, what we want to be. That is correct. So if we're not going to elevate ourselves with brilliant coaching, and it's all going to be culture and coach speak, what do we really have? So here at 3-7, mid 4 straight losses of 3+ touchdowns, it's a red for Dan Quinn. It is also a red for Joe Whitt Jr. And I've I am so far on the not anti-Joe Whitt. I don't even know what to call it. The scale, that's spectrum. That's probably the best word for it. If this is the fire Joe Whitt, I hate Joe Whitt, Joe Whitt is the downfall of everything, I'm over here. I am on the opposite side. Yet I can't look at him and say, every time, every Sunday, or if we're playing on Thursday, playing on Monday, every game day, when I wake up in the morning or when I sit down and I'm watching the games before us, I'm watching the pregame, I'm thinking to myself, man, we're probably going to give up 40, 45 points today. I don't care how many injuries we have. I don't care what the players are. Again, the players will prevent us from winning. The players will prevent us from playing well. I should not go into every game expecting us to be the worst defense in the NFL, one of the worst defenses in modern NFL history. That is not an excuse. Miscommunications all the time, coverage breakdowns all the time, not producing turnovers. The stuff like sending 2 defenders to guard 3 in a bunch on 4th and 1. We're still going to keep the safety 10, 15 yards off the ball. Things like that, or where the touchdown to Amon-Ra, where Wagner and Sainristil are just standing back there waiting for Amon-Ra. And now it's a good catch. It's a good route by Amon-Ra, but they're standing there waiting, and then he wiggles between them for a touchdown. It's the stuff like that where I just look at this and say, dude, like, yes, you've been set up to fail, or maybe you deserve a better chance. I think that's the best way to put it. Maybe you didn't get a fair shake. Maybe you deserve a better opportunity. But with the cards stacked against you, it's like you have added more cards to the opposite side. So it's a red for Joe Whitt Jr. He's not doing anything to help us right now. And again, this is from someone who's I don't even want to call myself a Joe Whitt Jr. defender, but in some ways I have to be, because he's been under everybody's magnifying glass. We're at the point now where I want the magnifying glass to shift to Dan Quinn. He's still the guy in charge. Let's not forget about that. And if firing Joe Whitt Jr. would make a difference, and Dan Quinn's not the one, he's not pulling the trigger on it, then that reflects poorly on Dan Quinn. And oh, how about this? If it's bad play calling, I'm pretty sure Dan Campbell was calling the Lions offense today. He had a play sheet. He was talking into the headset. I think he was calling the plays today. So if Joe Whitt's a great coach and he just doesn't have it going with his situational awareness, maybe he's not making the right play calls, maybe he's not communicating to the green dot effectively, take over as a play caller. It's a red for Joe Whitt Jr. It's a red for Dan Quinn. It's a red for Daron Payne. And I thought Payne had been one of our better players this year, at least on defense. Throwing that punch is total bullshit. I'm sorry. I know my uncle's kids watch these videos. If you guys are watching this, what's up? Enjoyed seeing you guys here. Had fun watching you play ping pong. We got a ping pong table in the basement. They're going crazy on it. What part of culture is it to pick on a guy 6 inches and 110 pounds lighter than you? Again, he might have said something crazy, but come on. When Payne was playing, wasn't making any difference. We were getting totally dominated. Again, no sacks, no TFLs in this game. Made no impact. Detroit was running right through us. Goff was doing anything he wanted. It's a red for Daron Payne. Our only green of the video. Alec Burks. Why did my brain just go to basketball? Treylon Burks. Want to get his name right because he deserves it. My apologies, Treylon. Don't think you're Alec. You played a lot better than Alec Burks tonight. Tell you that much. Treylon Burks, he only had 3 catches, but that was one of the best receiver performances I've seen from a Commanders player this year. I was watching him, And I looked at him and I said, you know what? At 6'2", 225, that physical profile, he looks like he could add something that this team doesn't have. 3 catches for 58 yards. Had a long catch of 37 up the left sideline where I believe there was a PI or illegal contact holding something on that play. I was worried it was going to be offensive when I saw the flag go up, but it was defensive. So we got that. His first catch was a really, really strong hands catch in traffic over the middle of the field. I looked at him and I was like, dude, you could be the wide receiver 2 next to Terry. Honestly, that's how I felt. And this is a guy who was drafted, I want to say 16th overall. He was a first rounder just a couple of years ago. So it didn't work out with Will Levis as his quarterback. Shock. I don't know how many players it would have worked out for. Maybe he still got it in him. I don't know, but he showed me enough. And this is what it's all about I say this with rookies, and he's not a rookie, but he is a young player. You want to see the flashes. It's okay if they mess up, if they equal those out with flashes. And Burks wasn't messing up, and he was flashing tonight, so he deservedly gets a green. And then the final square of the video, I'm going to give a yellow to Adam Peters. Now, let me start by saying this. Normally, a yellow is a symbol of, hey, you did something to lose us the game. Like, hey, you had a costly turnover or you missed this tackle, something like that. I want to make it clear that this yellow is more there because of it's because of the future. It's because of the mystery. It's because of the confusion. It's because of what is upcoming. This is not reactionary. This is not looking back at the past, looking back at this game specifically. I really like what AP has done since he's gotten here. I know a lot of people are frustrated with him. But I was talking with some other Commanders guys recently, and a word that kept coming up was process. I really like Adam Peters' process. He traded for an elite left tackle. He drafted a right tackle in the first round. Commanders of years past, they would draft a running back. No, we're going to build the trenches. Connolly hasn't been good this year. I get it, guys. It's a pick based on potential. Don't judge Connolly yet. It's the process. He drafts the tackle. He cleans up our cap situation. We've got one of the best cap situations in the entire NFL. There's pressure on AP to spend the money right next offseason, the offseason after that, but he set himself up well for it. He was quick to recognize a mistake with Dom Hampton, and he cut him after one game in the preseason. So I'm giving him a yellow because this team is in utter turmoil. And I don't think any solutions are in-house aside from him. Dan Quinn might be our coach of the future. Joe Whitt Jr. might be our defensive coordinator of the future. Cliff Kingsbury might be our offensive coordinator of the future. But right now, they don't have buttons to push. They don't have moves to make. There's no reason to believe the difference is in the locker room as far as the players go right now. So AP, whether it is hiring or firing and hiring somebody, whether it's not, whether it's releasing a player, whether it's trading someone in the offseason, whether it's signing someone, whatever sort of move it is that needs to happen, it's going to come from Adam Peters. Now, even the best GMs in the league make mistakes. The problem here is he can't afford to. Because you want to maximize your young quarterback's rookie contract window, but you also have to build for the future while having the oldest team in the NFL, while having years and years and years of horrible, horrible drafting, leaving the cupboard nearly completely bare. So Adam Peters right now is in one of the most punishing, unforgiving situations in the NFL. And again, this yellow is not a reflection that I believe he's done a bad job. Again, I love Adam Peters. I love what he's done. But this is a yellow because the future is uncertain. And I think he's going to need to be the one to solve it. So guys, we're basically at 45 minutes again. This is the second straight week. I am going to head out of here. I appreciate y'all joining me for the 5 Names to Remember series. As a recap here, we have a red for Dan Quinn, a red for Joe Whitt Jr., a red for Daron Payne, a green for Treylon Burks, and a yellow for Adam Peters. Make sure you do go down to the comment section below. I will pin a comment. Maybe not a full 5 names to remember from you guys, but maybe just a review. Do you like my picks? Do you dislike them? Do you have one burning suggestion that's standing out? Do you think Frankie Louvu deserved one? Do you think Mike Sainristil deserved one? Do you think Chris Rodriguez deserved it? Whatever it is, make sure you put it in the pinned comment. And just overall, leave me your thoughts on where we're at, what you thought about this video, just everything about the season. I'm gonna head out. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new around here. Link to join the full command Discord is at the top of the description. I will catch you guys in the next one. I appreciate you all being here. Have a great day.